What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another PE news video that I have here for you guys. Today we have some awesome information like always, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So Darksiders 3 from IGN has had a hands-on preview. This is the first one ever. We also have some brand new screenshots showing off Fury in all of her awesome whip glory. So let's go ahead and get into some of the highlights on what they talk about from this hands-on preview, saying that the game will have an interconnected world and how puzzles will make sense in their environments. Enemies will feel like they belong in the world, and how there won't be any out-of-place treasure chests or gated combat. You'll always be able to see the next place you haven't been to yet, just out of reach, and each new environment is shaped by a unique boss, like terraforming. It is also revealed that the game runs on Unreal Engine 4. Read the full preview over at IGN. So that is very interesting. The game runs on Unreal Engine 4. And that could mean, just based off some of that, people are talking about whether this game's coming to Switch or not. Right now, the early indications, people are saying that it's not. But since it is running on Unreal Engine 4, that gives me hope that there will be a Nintendo Switch version at some point. Maybe not at launch, but there will be one coming down the line. There's an export to Switch option on the Unreal Engine 4. So it seems to me like this game is very plausible for that system, but we have to probably wait to E3 to get an official confirmation or some type of Nintendo Direct, because I do know that THQ Nordic is working closely with Nintendo with Battle Chasers, Night War, in addition to other titles that they haven't talked about yet. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Zero Time Dilemma is coming to the PS4 this fall. Zero Time Dilemma, the third entry in the Zero Escape series, is coming to the PlayStation 4, both physically and digitally this fall in North America, says publisher Arxis Games. The game is currently available for pre-order on Amazon. Here is the overview about Zero Time Dilemma if you don't know about it, haven't played it at this point. Arxis Games and Spike Chunsoft proudly announced that Zero Escape Zero Time Dilemma releases physically and digitally fall 2017 in North America on the PlayStation 4 system. Now, the company its predecessors 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, and Virtue's Last Reward, Kotaro Ichikochi's mastermind trilogy of compelling storylines and mind-shredding gaming experience are now together in their full HD glory on the PS4 system. Choice is your only method of salvation and your only means of escape. How much of your humanity will you sacrifice to earn your freedom? As a new age of ruin looms large on the horizon, you must make impossible decisions, unimaginable consequences as you straddle the line between absolution and damnation. Plan your escape. Here are the key features. Excellence in narrative puzzles. Kotaro is back with a diabolical new puzzles and fully animated story sections that push boundaries of interactive storytelling. Meet our new contestants, newcomers, and familiar faces. Round out a robust cast of characters. Find out who will live and who will die in this epic clash of wills. Beautiful HD PS4 graphical experience. Zero Time Dilemma has been beautifully remastered with impressive new HD along with both English and Japanese voiceover options to flesh out the narrative. Vast branching paths, multiple endings, and non-linear story mechanics keep you coming back for more. Zero Time Dilemma is currently available on PC, PS Vita, and Nintendo 3DS. Its prequels, 999, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, and Virtue's Last Reward are also available on those platforms as well as the PlayStation 4. This game seems very crazy. Not my style because I don't like puzzle games, but I think it would be cool for you guys to watch. So let me know. Would you guys want me to play some of these different 9 Hours, 9 Doors, 9 Thingies, Virtue's Last Stand? If you guys want me to play these type of games, let me know in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to a quick note about NBA Playgrounds on the Nintendo Switch when it comes to the online features of the game, which will come a few days after launch. So this is coming from Nintendo Life's interview with Saber Interactive. The online play for NBA Playgrounds on the Nintendo Switch will not be available at launch. It will arrive a few days later after launch via an update. Once the update comes out, the Nintendo Switch version will have the exact same functionality as the PC, PS4, and Xbox One versions. This means you can connect with people online and play against them 1v1, and there will be online leaderboards. However, online tournaments will not be up and running at launch for any of the platforms. This functionality will come at a later date via an update. We'll share details on the timing for the online tournaments as soon as we get it. They also added that the reason for this was the submission process for the game, because Saber didn't have the online code for the Nintendo Switch ready to go, but it is coming a few days afterwards, and there will be online tournaments. So as long as they promise that content and it's coming, I'm cool with that. What do you guys think about NBA Playgrounds on the Nintendo Switch? Will you be picking it up? I think it comes out next Tuesday. Will you be picking it up then? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom on the PS4 and Nintendo Switch have the best chance at a physical release, says FDG. This is coming from FDG Entertainment. It's too early to confirm anything, but the Nintendo Switch and the PS4 have the best chances for a physical release because of a less risky business. That said, we love Xbox One too. everyone from the id Xbox team is super nice and helpful. We'll see. Hopefully there's enough interest coming from players on all platforms that we're pitching it to retail distributors. The amount of Twitter votes for a physical copy of Monster Boy have been very encouraging so far. Thanks for the continued interest. So they did hold that vote if you want to see a physical release, and probably as far as the sales go right now, the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch versions are probably destroying the Xbox One version, so that's the reason why it's not as risky for them, because with the Xbox One, I just don't think people are going to play that type of game. PS4 just has a massive install base, so you're going to get some people, and probably where the most interest is on the Nintendo Switch, just because of less competition overall and the type of game that it is as far as what Nintendo fans might like to play, so I can understand where they're going for when it comes to which versions of the game will be physical and digital, which versions of the game have the best chance of getting a physical release. I still have not picked this up, but if there is a physical release, I'll probably be more inclined to do so just because I like collecting physical boxes. What do you guys think about Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom on the Nintendo Switch PS4? Do you like the game? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, moving on to the last article here. It seems that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold over 1 million units at this point. So this is coming from Daniel Ahmed, who is a researcher. You guys probably know him on Twitter, and he talked about this. He says that with Persona 5 including Japan and Asia sales, Mario Kart 8 joins the million seller list for April 2017. So Mario Kart 8 was pretty much the #1 game released worldwide, you know, in that time last week. I don't know, they said first week sales equal 1 million. We don't know what the exact total is, and this isn't from Nintendo, so we still need to wait and see what Nintendo has to say. Although Nintendo hasn't talked about worldwide sales total, you can pretty much do the math and easily see for yourself without having anyone else tell you that it's probably over 1 million units sold, just because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was #1 pretty much in all regions, eShop and physical when it comes to like France and the UK and Europe, and then also it sold 280,000 copies, not including digital, in Japan, and nearly 500,000 copies in the US alone. So yeah, just doing the math, yeah, it's probably easily over 1 million units sold, so that's no surprise. We'll see where it gets to, but I think this will be a super evergreen title for the Nintendo Switch, especially considering the portability and how you can play it as a console. I think people are just going to continue buying this game every single month. You're just going to see people buying and buying and buying it. We saw it with Mario Kart 8. We're definitely going to see that with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch, since the Switch is more of a faster selling system than the Wii U was. Alright, I'm moving on to the last article here. I want to talk briefly about DLC and how I view it as far as Day 1 DLC, or DLC that's planned a little bit later, or DLC that's pre-ordered and all that, because in my last video talking about Fire Emblem, as far as the DLC goes, I was kind of like nonchalant about it, and I've been like that about DLC for a very long time, because I don't consider Day 1 DLC to be the evilest thing in the world like some people do. Some people are saying that I was white knighting for developers, and that's not it at all, because developers, if you really think that Day 1 DLC is the worst thing in the world, many developers can trick you. It's very easy to trick some gamers out there. They can just say, okay, we won't release it Day 1, but it'll still pretty much be ready, and we'll just release it in a week. We saw that with Resident Evil 7 on the PS4 and Xbox One. Didn't have Day 1 DLC, but it had DLC a week later, which could have easily been included in the final retail game, right? So at this point, I don't really listen when people say, oh, well, Day 1 DLC is the problem. That's definitely not the problem at all, because developers can just say, all right, we'll just wait a little bit and then we'll release it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That's not the problem. For me, whenever I gauge DLC and whether it's appropriate or not, or whether I have an issue or not, is what does the base package give you? If the base package of the game gives you a full, complete game with all the story characters, everything that you need to get the best experience, and it gives you the value, the content that you want as far as deserves, is the game worth the 40, 50, 60 bucks, whatever you paid for? Is it worth that price? If the answer is yes, then they can do DLC, they can release DLC whenever. You don't have to buy that, because you can get everything, the full experience of the game, without DLC. And that's what I was talking to when it came to Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. It's going to be a full experience without that DLC. They detailed it. You don't need any of that. So why am I going to be mad about stuff when the game is probably already going to come with hundreds of hours of content, maybe even more? Who knows? There is a ton of stuff in that game, just like all the other Fire Emblem games without DLC, which you don't need. And it even goes to other games too, like Persona 5. There is hundreds of dollars of DLC in Persona 5. Do you need any of that DLC? No. Does the game give you enough content right there for your 60 bucks? Is it worth that price? Will you get hundreds of hours with just the base package? Yes, you will with Persona. So there's no reason to be upset about the DLC or say that it should have been included. They gave you well worth your money's worth when it comes to the content in there. So I'm not upset if they want to do some DLC packs or if they want to do things like that. All I'm worried about is making sure I get enough content for my money. Now, if developers want to do those practices, that might not be the best thing to do that when it comes to day one DLC or when it comes to a lot of DLC in the game before the game's even out. But at the same time, I'm only worried about the money that I pay, getting the amount of hours and content. If a game like Persona 5 can give me 130 hours of gameplay, why am I going to be mad about extra stuff? Same goes for Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. If I'm going to get 60, 70, 80 hours of gameplay out of my $40 game, I'm cool. There's no need for me to get upset and crazy about it and say that they should have included this or that in the game, because just as long as the game comes out and it's great, they're not cutting out as far as major main things in the game, and you can get a complete experience with your $40, then it's fine. It's really fine to me. There was one of the Tales games that came out recently where they cut out and released one of the main characters as DLC, where like she goes away and then like if you want to use her, you need to pay for it. Now that's a problem because they're cutting out a main part of the game in order to sell you DLC. But these games aren't doing that. When it comes to Persona, when it comes to Fire Emblem, you still get the full experience for your 40 bucks, for your 60 bucks. So that's my take on DLC. There's no point in getting upset or crazy about it because all developers do DLC. All developers are going to have stuff that you can buy either day one or shortly afterwards or a little bit after that. Don't be fooled by the timing, guys. Developers can simply hold on to things or take as long as they want. Look at the value as far as the game goes. Look at what you're getting. If it's worth the money that you're paying for it brand new, or if you want to wait, that's also fine. But I always see it when it comes to games for me, and if I buy a game, is the content, the value. If it's enough or if it's worth that price, then it's all good. If they want to sell DLC, it's their game. Let them sell DLC. I don't have to buy it. It's optional. So those are my thoughts on the matter. Just wanted to kind of clear up a couple of things there. And if any of you guys want to discuss it even more, let me know. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. We can have a proper live discussion. I think that'd be cool as well. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content that's going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace.